Hi, I'm Bill Fox, Operations Manager for Las Cruces Public Schools TV. Back after a brief hiatus where we kind of packed a whole school year of activities into 3 months. And I'm happy to say now that after graduations have been streamed and everything's been put away until the next big set of events, we're back with what we like to call co-curricular. Our series of conversations where we discuss the business of running a school district. And I'm back now for part 2. 3 months ago, almost to the day, we sat down, Mr. Ramos, for an interview where you had just been named interim superintendent. I'm happy to say part 2, 3 months later, we get to drop the interim title, and I'd like to welcome, congratulations, Superintendent Ralph Ramos. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Mr. Fox. It's a pleasure being here, and it's been quite an honor to serve these last 3 months. And boy, what a whirlwind getting to this point.
Let's talk a little bit about that whirlwind. And I've just got to say, we stream board meetings, and the last board meeting was the meeting where you were. It was made official. Well, actually, I had a question. They offered you the position. I don't even know if I ever heard you accept the position.
I did accept the position at the board meeting.
Okay.
And probably the face mask didn't show my glaring smile and just all my energy that was jam-packed into the excitement with the announcement.
Let's talk a little bit about that, the build-up to it. Around the district, people have their opinions. There was a lot of talk, water cooler talk about who do you think it's going to be. And I had to tell people, honestly, I have no idea. This board has kept us guessing on a number of occasions, and they didn't let us down on their choice for superintendent. We had the camera on you, ready for the announcement, and it looked like you were going through 1,000 different emotions. President Jaramillo made the announcement, and we'd like to offer. And this pregnant pause of 15 or 20 seconds, and you can just feel the tension in the air. What's going through your brain at that point?
Mr. Fox, it's always been about my whole life has been in God's hands, and who knows why I'm here today. But I know I've served 28 years in Las Cruces Public Schools, a teacher in the classroom, being an ag science teacher, a lot of hands-on learning, and going to be an assistant principal and talk about just all the learning that takes place there and all the great mentorships that were happening to, comb me up to be an effective principal. And then having 13 years of excitement to really, to spend 13 years in a learning environment such as Camino Real, man, what a blessing itself there. I learned so much, and I learned so much as far as working with people closely to really engage on creating systems for a school for kids. And that's always at the forefront. I know that as I look back, I'd get comments from teachers, why do you always favor those kids? And probably in frustration because we challenge each other to do what's best for kids. And to do what's best isn't easy. But it's about having critical conversations. And to me, that's what I've been seeing in this community these last 3 months. We've had a lot of difficult things happening to us. Re-entry plans. We disagree on the plan. This isn't right. We adjust it. We do rapid resets. We listen. We grow. We learn from each other. That's just the way everything's been. But that night, last night, was incredible. And I just felt really honored to know that the board is going to continue to have confidence in me. I definitely don't want to let anybody down. And I'm just waking up every day, putting my shoes on, coming to work. This morning was quite a relief to just be here without that interim title. But it's about serving and continue to serve the people in Las Cruces for the best education that kids can have here in Las Cruces.
And we'll get back to that service. You talk about service a lot. When we spoke 3 months ago, you talked a lot about serving and service in your life of service. And don't let me forget that. You mentioned the micro, your years at Camino and in the schools. Now you're kind of at the next level, the macro, where you've got to take a bigger look and lead the entire district. So let's talk a little bit now about the next few steps as you in leadership, and let's break it down by like things that are coming up. So, for instance, this summer, I know that this summer is going to be like no other summer that we've ever had. Last year was like no other year we've ever had. Talk to me a little bit about what your vision is, what you hope to accomplish over the summer, as far as, and keep in mind, what you want students and families to know, what you want the staff and teachers to know, and also what you kind of want, your message to the greater community about what this summer is going to look like in Las Cruces Public Schools.
Excellent, Mr. Fox. One of the things that we need to do is rest, okay? Rest and recuperate, energize. And I got to be honest with you, I'm taking Friday off. I'm going to turn it into a 3-day weekend just to get my brain, rested up a little bit, to come back and really excite our leadership. In fact, we had a powerful meeting this morning, with our goals on what we need to do and accomplish. And the very first thing right now is, again, the kids and getting them vaccinated. We're working on plans that, are going to be able to reach out and really bring all our kids in, throughout the summer, 12 and older, and also complying with all the changes that are thrown to us from the CDC to, the PED. They're doing their work. It comes down to us. We make it happen. But not only that, we're also looking at day one coming back with staff and really trying to motivate them, because teachers are so resilient. They're so committed. They're going to get a little bit of rest, but they're also enrolling in professional development. The learning never stops for teachers. They're continuing to fine-tune their skills, their strategies, to be able to come back, full of excitement with new ways to learn and to teach our kids. And that's just how, our teachers are so committed in this district. But also when we get back, right now we're trying to plan out our principals retreat to energize them. What are we going to do? Is it going to be a 1-day, a 2-day, or are we going to do an all, LCPS employee type of setting, to really motivate everyone with, a dynamic speaker, but also being able to communicate and give them what they really need. We don't like to waste people's time. A lot of times we give information that can be sent out through an email, and we, tend to sometimes waste people's time. We don't want to do that. We want to give them what they need to know to make them better at what they do. Again, is all about kids.
So the summer, it sounds like rest, recover, plan for the future. Can you hit on a little bit of what we're offering for the extended learning opportunities? I forget, what are we calling that, by the way?
Extended learning opportunities. Okay. And we're getting really creative at every school starting yesterday. And every school has a lot of dynamic hands-on learning that's happening. We're letting teachers get really creative with what they enjoy doing as far as like their hobbies that motivate kids. But with that, we're also embedding the reading and the math skills that they're going to be learning anyway. Let's say you were going to bake a cake or, provide some kind of nutritional, activity. Where's the math that's involved with that? Where's the reading, following directions? All important skills that we need. But again, the hands-on learning of, here's a product in a box and here's the end result. To me, that is so important, and it's happening. And we're going to really try to showcase a lot of these type of activities, because extended learning is, a lot of people think extra 10 days to a calendar, oh gosh, it's kind of burdensome, for everybody. But no, it's about what do we do with those 10 days? And, to me, this is going to be a great time to really showcase what we can do, not only for struggling learners, but also the gifted, learner as well. all quartiles are in this equation.
Great. So Les, and I agree. The kind of the general sentiment in the public sometimes is don't punish us with more days. But this isn't punishment. This is value added, and it's optional, right? So
It is optional. Optional where, we gave kids a choice, to participate, and definitely, actually some schools exceeded those numbers that were allowed, and that's where it's tough to really provide these opportunities, but also to fund them. And that's why it's important that we really are careful as we look into budgeting for next year on how we articulate our plan to be able to fund after school programs and, a few days here and there with excitement, with unique things about learning. So, those are going to be some challenging things. I know that we're not going to have an extended year this next 21-22 school year, but we'll get creative. I know that the brain power in this district is going to make good things happen for kids, and it's going to happen.
Well, you brought it up, so I guess we're going there. 21-22 school year. Big push over the summer, you said, to vaccinate kids. I think that's a great idea to make it as normal as possible next year. What do you see as kind of the big picture? We don't need the nuts and bolts of when vacations are going to happen and that kind of stuff, but the big picture on what is 21-22 going to look like.
And that the future is upon us. We don't know. I don't have a crystal ball here, but I will tell you one thing. I'm hoping to see no masks, and hopefully this pandemic winds down and it's behind us and we learn from it. I'm hoping to see some really creative teaching that continues, both with technology and hands-on type of learning. I'm looking at all athletic events back to normal, having normal seasons, time frames, not spring, winter, fall sports condensed into 4 months. Those are the things that we provided opportunities for kids to still participate as much as we could. And I want to thank the students, with that, because they've been so resilient, incredible. I really haven't heard any complaints from kids. Bring it on. They want whatever we provide for them. And one of the cool things that I also see this next year is that we're going to have students at the table. Students are going to have a huge voice, bigger than they've ever had with LCPS. And it's going to start with every elementary and middle school having a strong PTSO, parent, teacher, student organization. They're going to also have our SAC, school advisory councils, running, where they're going to be able to embrace, parents' voice, the student voice, but also student council is where it's going to start. We're going to build leaders from elementary to middle, where they're going to be able to participate at the student advisory council at the high school level. We're going to make sure that high school students participating there are going to earn a half a credit for their participation with all the learning of legislative issues and policy making, all those type of things that they're going to be learning. To me, it's all about leadership. We want to build leaders early. We want to build them, whether they're students or whether they're employees. We want to provide opportunities for everyone to grow. I know one thing, that career opportunities in Las Cruces Public Schools are only growing and getting better and better. And it's important about communicating. We ran a survey just 3 short months ago, asking administrators, where do you want to be? Where are you at now? Where do you want to be? Where do you foresee yourself going? And, there's been administrators, and it's unfortunate that we don't have that many openings, which is actually a celebration. But it's unfortunate for some people because they don't have that opportunity to grow, or they don't land the job. You fill it with one person when 10 put in. So we surveyed every administrator and asked them where they would like to be. And guess what? We made some shifting, and it was based with collaboration and communication. and we got people where they want to be. To me, once you find where you want to be, you're going to be the most effective for kids, and to me, that's important. But when you make moves as a superintendent to just pick and choose and do it without that communication, it's tough. I was placed at Sierra Middle School as an assistant principal, didn't have to go through the interviewing process. To me, that's not fair. I was placed at Camino Real, same thing. That's not fair to the staff there. And I don't like that animosity. Let's just keep doing what's best and fair for everyone, and let's embrace all the leaders, and they'll sort themselves out to get them where we need them, to do what's best for kids.
Sounds like your distributive leadership model at work. I mean, you always talk about that, how leadership isn't just at the top, but it spreads out all the way down the chain, and giving people those kinds of opportunities to step up and lead is something that sometimes is lost out, especially when people are just appointed into roles that maybe they don't even want sometimes. Let's go just a few short answer questions, just rapid fire questions. What do you do on the weekends to relax?
I'm out in the outdoors. I love hunting and fishing, and really just being out with nature and enjoying the elements out there. A little tranquility is always best to restore your mind, to come back, to be energized, to do what's best for kids.
Books on tape or paper or old-fashioned books? Which one do you prefer?
Well, I love to read visually, but my eyes and these transitional lenses, I just can't seem to find the right combination. But audiobooks are great as well.
Okay, what's the last audiobook that you listened to?
Fine-tuning elk calling techniques. I know it's kind of relaxing. It's out of the box, out of education, but that kind of goes with another passion of mine that I have, and that's again being out in the outdoors. I do present at the national level. I've presented at the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation in front of 400 people. Cabela's, Bass Pro. These are some things that a lot of people don't know about me, but it's about wildlife vocalization and just getting out there with nature and communicating as well.
If you had to, in 3 words, describe the arc of your career with Las Cruces Public Schools, 3 words only.
3 words.
Yeah.
Outstanding experience, lifetime.
There you go. That's 3 good words. And finally, what's your message to parents and students that I mean, you've already talked about it quite a bit, but let's just kind of put it in a nutshell. I know parents are still anxious. I know kids that are still anxious. What is the Ralph Ramos? You got 2 years on your contract. What is the Ralph Ramos vision for the next 2 years as far as the public schools go?
Public schools is 2 years, and I want to accomplish as much as I can. But number one is to provide K through 12 learners the best experience in Las Cruces, set up the foundation to be able to give them the best experience throughout whatever grade they're at, but have them ready for college, military, or the workforce. And when I talk about that workforce piece as well, is to give them a hands-on experience. They graduate and they land a job in our community. And that's where I hope that I'm looking so forward to working with legislators. I've already had a few calls. We're setting up meetings for as early as next week to really look at what does Doñana County need from education to align a lot of things to New Mexico State University, to military, to our working community. What do they need? What are the special skills we need to develop on kids and just make a whole a whole student ready for this community.
No longer interim Superintendent Ralph Ramos. Congratulations again, Ralph. We've been friends for a long time. I'm so excited for you I can't wait to see what direction you take Las Cruces Public Schools. I got to say, I feel like the district is in good hands, in capable hands, in hands that never sleep. And take my word for it, he is here. You will be the first person here in the morning, guaranteed. And 9 times out of 10, the last person to leave at night. Make sure you turn off the lights and lock the doors, please. But I'm so looking forward to it. I'm so excited that we get to continue this journey with Las Cruces Public Schools. Thanks for sitting down with me this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Fox. And you know what? I love Las Cruces and Las Cruces Public Schools. I'm here. You know, let's communicate. Let's keep working together for kids. Thank you very much.